Hi friends, I would like to greet you and congratulate you because you are the pioneers that are helping ground 5D on planet Earth. So today it will be a short video. I will be explaining a little bit about karma and ego. Okay. See, our astrology chart shows the configuration of our mind, of our chakra system. Okay. And it also shows major life events, the nature of the relationships we are going to have, the spiritual goals, the material goals, and most important of all, it shows our karmic blockages, the areas where we need to work, especially planets like Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. Mars to a certain extent, and other planets also depends on their position and various other aspects. You can see the karmic lessons that a person is supposed to learn. Now, what really happens is a fight between the ego that's trapped in the karmic cycle and that mistakes itself as the self. Okay, so when you're functioning out of an egoic consciousness, you think that that is you because you don't know anything beyond that. Your consciousness is limited. So when your consciousness is limited and you're identifying with the limited self instead of the real self, which is the unlimited self, you become very, very possessive of that ego self. Maybe that ego self is giving you certain abilities whereby you can grow and prosper in certain ways. You have certain intelligence, you have certain connections, you have certain skills, and so you're very proud and possessive of these skills and of these aspects of the ego self. And somewhere you feel that if you merge with the divine self, you're going to lose all these powers and skills. But that is never the case, my friends. That people think when they have a bad or wrong idea of spirituality. See, most people have not given a clear picture of enlightenment, not given a clear picture of spirituality. So people become very possessive of the skill sets that they possess, the talents that they possess, and they assume that spirituality will wipe off the ego completely and they will not know who they are. That is one aspect. Second aspect is that they feel spirituality and merging with the self will make them lose control, and therefore, if they lose control, they will become weak. That is one of the biggest fears, the fear of losing control, the fear of surrender, and actually, the self or the higher self is always asking for that very one thing, the surrender, the letting go of control. Okay, and the ego doesn't want to do that. So yes, we have different healing modalities and things like that. But I'll tell you something. I have encountered people around me who was so tired of their ego, who was so tired of their karmic patterns. They wanted to get out of them. But when I came into their lives and I showed them the guidance in subtle ways, they ran for the hills. They just ran because when a divine energy or the energy of the guru comes in your life and tries to work on the ego self, the ego becomes so insecure, the false self or the apasmara becomes so insecure that Shiva will destroy the apasmara or control the apasmara. Now, the Nataraja avatar of Lord Shiva was not an avatar to destroy the apasmara, which is the false self, but to control it. So you see the demon called Apasmara, which represents the ego self, the false ego self, is lying under the feet of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is dancing over the Apasmara demon. He's not killing it, but he's controlling it, and that's exactly how we have to behave with our ego self. Because what is ego? Ego is a set of unconscious belief systems regarding self God and the reality you are experiencing. You're having some false belief systems that are running in the background. That's one level of ego, and the other level of ego is some technical abnormalities in your soul. The soul also has a skeleton, like the body has a skeleton and a structure and a system, different systems, like that. Even the soul has different systems, and the negative entities or the asuras or the archons have intentionally created a lot of damages in the soul of humanity on the level of the collective unconscious through installing several implants that are like programs to mind control the consciousness and the soul bodies. So these things also generate the false ego. These things also generate the karmic experiences. And when these implants are in place and you're running on the karmic experiences, you are automatically functioning through false belief systems which create a false ego. For example, there could be certain implants in your soul that are continuously attracting the wrong type of people to you. So you develop the belief of not to trust in people. Again, it's a false belief because that's not the true nature of reality. The true nature of reality is the loving relationships which you can access when you're able to see beyond your false belief, and you have to also be able to remove the karmic implants in the chakras. So that's why just giving the pravachan is not enough. You need to either have just preaching is not enough, just listening to gurus is not enough. You need to have Shaktipat from a guru, or you need to have your own Kundalini awakening who will do all this technical work on your system, on your chakras, on your soul body, and remove all this stuck trauma energy, this distorted structural aspects of your soul bodies, okay, and realign your entire soul to the self, to the higher self. That is the dissension of the higher self in the physical body, and also is the beginning of the physical ascension, which is a very real thing, it's a true thing. Many yogis have already ascended. Christ ascended, Mother Mary ascended, Saint Germain ascended. You ascend when you shift your matrix from a false polarity based egoic matrix to a soul based non duality Advaita singularity matrix. And the twin flame journey is about this singularity matrix, where it's not that you are existing in a blank state, but you are existing in a reality where you have meaningful work to do, abundance, skills, talents, creativity, good people around you, purpose, good environment, interesting projects you're working on, good health, the pursuit of esoteric knowledge that gives you control over your reality matrix. This is the 5D matrix that we're talking about. This is what spirituality really is about. It's not about escaping to some mountains, but it's about finding some solitude which you can get in the mountains, so that you're able to figure out the reality of nature or the real nature of reality, and so that you're able to complete the ascension and embody the soul, because only the Nat Raja, or the embodiment of the higher self, is the final dissolution of the ego, is the enlightenment. But the ego will resist like anything, the ego self. I mean, personally, I never had that kind of fear, but I can relate to it. I can relate to it when the fear comes up. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. you're functioning through certain egoic patterns, let's say of codependency, and your higher self wants you to be independent and whole. So now what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the ego self or are you going to choose the higher self? Guess what? You don't have a choice. Do you know that? Even if you want to choose the higher self, you can't choose the higher self if you have the karmic blockages, if you have a lot of karma. The situations in your life won't let you choose the path of the higher self. You will be forced to choose the path of the ego. That is why we need a guru who can do a Shakti path on you, who can activate your Kundalini so that you start the sadhana process, whether it's Kriya Yoga or any other form of yoga, and the Kundalini is continuously clearing. But then in the later stages of this Kundalini clearing the third eye chakra and getting you closer to enlightenment, the moment you hit a certain mark, you're going to be attacked because the matrix senses that you're able to break free. Okay, you're able to transcend the matrix, and it will send its agents, which are mostly the unconscious masses, the unconscious people who are not thinkers, who are just full of limitations themselves, full of ego themselves, full of traumas and unresolved issues, who just go around spitting the unresolved issues everywhere in society, like the mannerless people who are uneducated in how to process their stuff. So we need a little bit of enlightenment in that area more rather than just doing yoga asanas. Okay, because I'm sure even monkey can do yoga asanas these days. Reality is about not just yoga asanas, it's about clearing your issues that are stuck in the chakras, right? If you have a pet monkey and if you train it good enough, if you have a dog, I've seen dogs doing yoga, I've seen monkeys doing yoga. It's not a big deal. We need to progress little bit from yoga to actual yoga, which is union with the soul. And that happens when you take a very close look at the ego self and try to bridge the gap between the ego self and the higher self. In moments where you're challenged to take an action that's beyond your normal patterns, a lot of fears will come up, like will I be able to maintain the new action? Will I be able to maintain the new pattern? That's one fear that comes up. Then, if I change my behavior and choose a new behavioral set of patterns, then I can also lose people in my life, in my circle. That's another fear that comes up. So, when you're making transition from ego self to soul embodiment, there's a total reconstruction of your reality that takes place, and that is the root cause of the fear. That's why people run. They just run because they don't want to disturb their comfort zone, and maybe they're not ready for it at that moment in their life. So they just go back to their normal lives and do what they do, and they keep creating more karmic blockages. So that's where things get difficult, because spirituality is something that you have to do simultaneously, not at a later point. It has to be done simultaneously, because if you're not doing it simultaneously, then you are running on the old patterns, which makes it even more and more difficult for you to enter true spirituality at a later stage. By that time, you might have created too many karmic blockages, and you might be involved in completely different things. You might not even get a chance to uh, study this other realm of soul. So, friends, I was inspired to just share this little few things with you. Why? Because I met people who almost get into a state of panic when they are required to look at their ego self and make changes on it, change their patterns. They rather fight with the whole world to prove their ego right, Instead of just doing a simple thing like examining themselves and accepting their mistakes, but it makes them panic. It gives the panic attack, and people start running from any kind of a intense work and even intense talk that would make them examine their false self. But again, it's not just so easy to choose the higher self. If you have a lot of prarabdha, then you are bound to do those karmic actions. You're bound. Like if the prarabdha says that you will have a toothache and you will not meet the dentist on the first day of the toothache. So that is the prarabdha, right? So the first day will come and the situation will be such that the dentist won't be available or you won't be able to reach the dentist or something else will happen and you will simply not be able to take the right decision because somebody is stopping you. So who is this somebody that stops you? It is the Lord of Karma, Lord Shanidev. Okay, so he is the great Lord of Karma who imprisons people in life circumstances and situations until they balance their karma. Until because see, if you don't surrender your ego to the Guru, then Saturn is going to deal with you, and that's not a pretty picture. So the universe has the light way of transmuting the ego and the dark way of transmuting the ego. You have to choose. And this universe is perfect and beautiful. You get to choose what you want. If you choose the light way and you're able to trust and surrender, then the universe will bring you a guru. If you're not at that place of receiving a guru, you're not able to respect even a guru and pay them what they deserve or respect them in the way they do, then you will be in the custody of the Saturn, Shani. Okay, sooner or later, it doesn't have to be the same day, and if it is not the same day or not the same week, then your ego will get high. So I disrespected my guru. What happened? I'm still the same. I'm doing the same old things. Nothing is happening. No, but there is a timing. Nobody knows when Shani is going to act, when Rahu is going to act. Okay, so it is the best thing to adopt spirituality as a normal part of life, simultaneous part of life, because that is in your best interest in order to clear the karma. Okay, especially if you are having strong Rahu and Ketu, heavy Rahu Ketu energy, heavy Saturn energy, heavy Mars energy, then you have to have a spiritual guru. And it's not just enough to listen to videos, but you need the energy to do the clearing work on you, whether it's through a Kundalini awakening or whether it's through a Shaktipat by a guru. Okay, if you're lucky enough, you can meet a guru who will do a Shaktipat. And gurus don't do Shakti, and real gurus will not do Shaktipat for everyone. They will only do Shaktipat for those whose soul has the required karma to receive this gift, and to those whose souls are ready to receive this gift. Because Shakti Path is a huge gift because it frees you from the karma so that you're able to make better decisions, so that you're free to make better decisions. Because if there is karma, then you will be bound to make the wrong decisions. You will be knowing that this is something wrong, but the situation will be such that you will still be choosing the wrong thing. That is the play of Saturn, that is the game of Saturn. So this is what I have to share with you, friends, regarding ego and karma. Okay, if you like this video, then please give it a like, share, subscribe to my channel, put down your comments, and feel free to donate to the channel. Okay, I give such beautiful teachings for free, and I myself am on the Kundalini Ascension journey. So if you would like, you can support me, and I will keep bringing to you this type of guidance. And remember, the Guru is a very special and precious entity in your life. Okay, the Guru has the ability to give you so much, to free you, to protect you, but it has to be an enlightened Guru. Okay, not a non-enlightened Guru. To find an enlightened Guru is very difficult these days. Okay, there are many gurus out there who have amazing skills and amazing achievements, but the enlightened Guru, whose third eye is fully opened, is a different dimension altogether. Friends, it's a different dimension altogether. So take care, and I will see you again in the next video.